Good evening. The Champions League draw is happening in Monaco. Arsenal will face Real Madrid under Mourinho. That is sport doing what it does. Elsewhere, the Supreme Court backs a plan to restrict mail-in voting. Australia argues over who should power its data centers. Congo receives 16,000 Ebola vaccines as the outbreak grows. Decisions about access to a ballot, to electricity, to protection against disease. The draw for the Champions League has taken place in Monaco. Europe's top football clubs now know who they'll be facing in the league phase of the competition. The draw was held today for the 2026 to 2027 season. Teams from across the continent learned their fixtures and schedule for the tournament. The Champions League uses a league phase format where clubs play multiple opponents before the knockout rounds begin. This is the competition's second season using this structure. Clubs will now begin preparing for their matches against the opponents selected in today's draw. Al Jazeera reported this. More than 1,200 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the ceasefire was announced. Israeli strikes and civilian deaths are continuing. Pakistan raised the issue at the UN Security Council on Wednesday. The country questioned how the truce can be considered to be holding given the ongoing violence. The challenge came during a Security Council session. Pakistan's intervention puts pressure on the international community to address whether the ceasefire exists in anything more than name. Dawn reported this. The Supreme Court has backed Donald Trump's efforts to restrict mail-in voting. The decision could affect the midterm elections in November, though it's not clear if the administration has time to act before then. Trump has been focused on limiting postal voting for some time. He's used mail-in ballots himself. The court's ruling gives the president what he wanted, but the clock is ticking. The midterms are just months away, and any changes to voting rules would need to happen quickly to take effect. This matters because mail-in voting has become increasingly popular. Millions of Americans now rely on it. Guardian World reported this. A state election in Germany is raising fears among people with a migration background. They're asking whether they still belong in the country and whether they're safe. The vote happens on September the 6th in Saxony-Anhalt in the former East Germany. The far-right AfD party could make history there with its result. For migrants and their families living in that state, the campaign has brought difficult questions. They're wondering about their security. They're wondering about their future in Germany. Deutsche Welle reported this. A Canadian fashion retailer is shifting part of its operations to the United States because of tariffs imposed by the Trump administration. The company is called SSENSE. It sells high-end clothing and accessories online. The move is part of a broader effort to turn the business around. By relocating a core part of its operations south of the border, the company hopes American customers can dodge the tariffs. Those tariffs have made it more expensive for shoppers in the United States to buy goods shipped from Canada. The duties are hefty enough that SSENSE decided it made more sense to move than to keep absorbing the cost or passing it along to buyers. New York Times reported this. Good evening. A Canadian fashion retailer is moving part of its operation to the United States to dodge American tariffs. SSENSE sells online. Its customers are global, but tariffs are not. Now to the Pacific. Australia wants more data centers but cannot agree on where the electricity should come from. The government wants developers to bring their own renewable power. The developers are pushing back. Australia wants to build more data centers to meet growing demand, but the government's plan for how to power them has hit a snag. Proposed legislation would force developers to provide their own renewable energy sources for new data centers. That requirement has run into resistance. The disagreement centers on where the power should come from. Data centers consume enormous amounts of electricity to run their servers and cooling systems. The standoff could slow Australia's expansion in the sector. Without agreement on the energy question, new projects may struggle to get off the ground. SBS Australia reported this. A rugby player has made his first appearance for the All Blacks and says he wants more opportunities at the top level. Prop Saula wore the black jersey for the first time in South Africa on Wednesday morning New Zealand time. Ma'u was born in Tonga. He made his debut in a match against the Springboks. The new All Black says he's eager to play more international matches after getting his first taste of Test rugby. RNZ Pacific reported this. The Champions League draw has been made in Europe. Arsenal will face Real Madrid in the next round of the competition. The tie reunites Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta with Jose Mourinho, who now manages Real Madrid. It's a significant match for both clubs. Arsenal will travel to Spain knowing they face one of European football's most decorated sides. Mourinho returns to familiar territory, having previously managed in England. The draw sets up one of the standout fixtures of the round. Arsenal supporters will watch their team test themselves against Spanish opposition. Real Madrid come into the tie as one of the tournament favorites. Telegraph Football reported this. Two key positions at the Pan-African network of anti-doping science agencies will be filled without a contest. The nomination period for the top two offices closed this week, with just one candidate putting their name forward for each role. Adamu will take one position, Kipruto will take the other. The organization's secretariat confirmed the situation on Wednesday. Both nominations were valid. That means no election will be needed. The two candidates will assume their roles unopposed. MyJoy Sport reported this. The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is growing at an alarming rate. Health officials are warning it could become the deadliest epidemic on record. More than 16,000 vaccine doses have now arrived in the country as authorities try to contain the spread. Over 2,500 people have already died. The World Health Organization says the outbreak could surpass the worst Ebola epidemic in history. That one killed more than 11,000 people across West Africa between 2014 and 2016. Dr. Mohamed Munir is helping to explain what's happening. He's a professor of virology at Lancaster University in the UK. France 24 Africa reported this.